Hi, this is Ashley McGee with Handi and Capable. Today, I have my second guest. Her name is Patricia. Say hi to everyone, Patricia.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for having me here, Ashley.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Your story is amazing to me.
Thank you.
So, let's start with the rapid question fire off. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Patricia Norzaran. I am 22 years old. I am Haitian American. My family's from Haiti. I currently am in college. I attend the University of Central Florida. I live in Orlando now, but I'm originally from South Florida. And I am diagnosed with Crohn's disease, and I currently live life with an ostomy bag.
Wow, that's a load.
Yeah.
When were you diagnosed with the Crohn's disease?
I had Crohn's at like a very young age. That was it started off with, like, fairly young. It was so untreated for a very long time until I was a teenager. I was able to go to the doctor and get treated for it around 13, turning 14. So I would initially say I was diagnosed fairly young, but I got like a how could I say this? A reasonable diagnosis where I could understand it at the age of 13.
That makes total sense.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea why it took your parents so many years to figure it out and ask?
Well, when I was born, I didn't have a rectum, so that means I didn't have like a behind, to be short. So when I was born, I had a colonoscopy bag, which where my colon it was placed on my left side of my abdomen area, and I had got reversed at 6 years old. So from birth to 6 years old, I had my ostomy bag, and I got reversed. And within that reversal, um, Crohn started forming in my body, and it was affecting my stomach. My dad couldn't really understand what was going on because one thing about us, we didn't speak English. So that was another barrier about us. Like, couldn't know what it was going on because, you just had surgery. The doctor promised that you were good. So we couldn't, my parents, well, my dad, he didn't know how to go about it because he didn't have the aid to help him in the translation, if you understand what I mean.
I'm understanding exactly what you're meaning. I was just not trying not to say anything so that you could get your point across.
Yeah.
Um, so what struggles are you currently facing? And I know that you had told me that you changed from a colostomy bag
Yes.
to something else. So explain that.
So originally at 13, I found out we were able to get treatment for my Crohn's disease. I was able to start with remission and get on about it and started Humira and all these medication to go on with. And entering high school, I was able to qualify for a J pouch. It's a surgery that they do again in the abdomen. However, as I got closer to like being an adult, um, my J pouch was no longer functioning, and my stomach was not going well. My colon was just not it. So I had to get my colon removed at 21 years old, where life was the peak for me going into college. So that's when I was able to have my ileostomy bag this year.
Okay. And what's the difference?
So the colostomy bag, I would like to say that the colostomy bag is made in a different entry than the the ileostomy bag that I have. Having it, I didn't know what the difference was because I thought it was the same thing, but it's so different. The colostomy bag is like bypass of the damaged part of the colon, so meaning that they're able to flip the intestines outwards from the abdominal side, And then the ileostomy is where they like surgical terms where they like move it from the left side to the right side. So what that means is that the ileostomy is like the abdomen wall, and there's different parts to it because they move the the intestines together in one to another side, and it's really fascinating to see how different they are because when I had my colostomy bag, I was able to eat everything and anything. And I realized with my ileostomy, it's a lot different in terms of the energy wise and getting your electrolytes and different stuff like that.
And there are things that now that you're not allowed to eat because of the ileostomy?
Yes. So when I got my ileostomy surgery, I got it in February of this year. I was placed in a feeding tube because I couldn't eat. And literally everything that I put in my mouth, I was throwing it up. And when I got my feeding tube, it was a lot easier to like eat food because, it's like from a tube. And when I got off of it, it was really hard because I couldn't eat things like nuts, salad, and different things like vegetables, broccoli. I know for most people they can eat it. However, for me, it's not well. I would have to put it in shakes and blend it. Fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, nuts, beans. It would always cause me to have a blockage, and which will later develop to like a hernia if I don't get treated well or go to the hospital for them to have do surgery on me.
Wow.
Yeah, it happened before, so it's not a fun feeling at all.
Okay. So I know with ostomy and ileostomy, there's something called a stoma. Can you please explain to us what that is?
So the stoma is literally the head of what it looks like. Some stomas can be red, some can be pink. When it's those colors, it's how should I put it, healthy. But if it turns a different color, you need to go to the hospital ASAP. But it's literally the head of what makes the output come out of the stoma. Literally, what basically the opposite of what you would do generally when you go use the bathroom, but just inside of your stomach.
Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah, yep, it is.
Okay, since you had surgery this year, what was it like transitioning into a college environment?
Oh my god, it was so hard, and I don't even think like we have a lot of time to talk about it because I'm learning new things each day. For me, when I had my surgery, it was extremely hard, especially transitioning from being in the hospital for so long and going to recovery where I was like always alone by myself. I couldn't even see my parents for so long because the COVID protocols and all that stuff. So it was very isolating and I got used to it. So when I came to college and saw all these people talking to me, and they were like at least my age and not older people. No, nothing against older people, but like, just like seeing people, out there just being here. And it was really different because there were times where I felt like I, kind of like didn't belong in a way, felt out of place. And disassociation was like a real thing for me. Like I felt like if I were talking to somebody, I would dissociate myself from that conversation because I didn't feel like I was a part of it. Took a lot to learn. You have to, I would say, learn different things about yourself, like in terms of what your body can do. And I don't know if you ever been to UCF campus. It's a big campus,
I have.
and it is really big. Walking wise in the sun with your bag, and your bag slips off because the adhesive doesn't stick to your body. So a lot of things can go about that. Lack of energy. I would need tons of electrolytes. I learned that about myself that I need a lot of salt in my body. And it was actually like a very learning experience, different things to learn about.
In case anybody here didn't know, I'm a UCF student too, but I study from home. So yeah, I've definitely been to campus before though for certain meetings and things that I've had to attend, and that place is huge.
Yeah, it really is. The
And it's
walking,
one big circle.
it literally is. I remember this year I was walking and literally my bag was slipping. Like it didn't even stay on my body because it was so incredibly hot.
Did
And I
anybody
was
see it? Did you end up getting embarrassed at all?
I kind of was like holding it, but I don't think anybody even noticed,
I'm
because
so
everybody
glad.
was, yeah.
All right, I have a couple more questions for you.
Hmm.
Um, this is an interesting one that I really want the answer to, just because
Oh
of the
yeah.
simple fact that I have things that things and people that help me as well. Are
Yeah.
there any accommodations or services that you receive in school or in general because of your Crohn's disease?
In terms of accommodations, when I got to UCF, I really did not use it to the best of my ability. I will be honest with you. But since having coming back and returning this fall, I took full advantage of it. I have extra bathroom time whenever like the professor is teaching. I can just get up and don't even have to ask myself because my classes are 4 hours. Some of them are 6 hours long, and I get extra time for assignments. And I think I get another one. It was for missing class for like doctor's appointments and stuff like that, which was really nice because I often have to go to doctor's appointments during class times because it's the best way to fit in. Because like to see a gastrologist in Orlando, they're always booked. So that was so nice. And those are the only three accommodations so far that I took advantage of this year, and I'm so glad that I did.
I'm glad that UCF has been able to help you as they should.
Mm.
They also help me as well, very well, and I'm very proud of where I go to school. Um, Last question. How do you usually tell people about your condition and your bag?
Oh, okay, that's a really good question. Um, for the most part, I go on to tell people about it, and every time I do, there are a lot of people are often fascinated by it, which I find so funny because it's like, oh my god, you're fascinated? Let's switch bodies. Like that's literally what I think in my head. But when I
Yeah,
tell,
because you wake up every day and you're like, I don't want to deal with this.
yeah, literally every morning I wake up and tell myself that. But I generally tell people that I have a medical bag. I don't go into the medical terminology with it because sometimes a handful of people I can count past my fingers that they don't know what an ostomy is. They don't know what a stoma is. They don't know what an ileostomy or colostomy is. So my best bet is to tell them that I have a medical bag and I use it to go potty or use the bathroom. It depends on what age I'm talking to. And or I'll tell them that I have my colon removed and I use the potty through a bag. And I'll just tell them that because a lot of times, like I said, they don't understand the big terminology. And when you tell them a medical bag, oftentimes they'll click, like understand it, because a lot of platforms such as TikTok, Instagram, they're able to be informed by it. Or if they don't know it, I will go on to explain it to them, but for the most part, I just tell them I have a medical bag, and then they'll ask me, what do you mean? Because they don't understand, and I'm telling that, "Oh, I go to the bathroom through a bag," and then that's what I just tell people, but for the most part.
You are one courageous young woman, and
Thank you.
I am so glad that we have met. It was great
I'm
having
so
you
glad I met
today.
you. Yes.
Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
And that concludes today with Handy and Capable. I hope you guys have been informed and have had a good time listening to this. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Bye.